Let's see if I can set you up. Of course, as always, we're running behind. And before I get started, I'm gonna make me some tea. I'm a little bit behind, as usual, as per usual. Okay, let's get started. Welcome in. For you guys that know me, I am an over-the-road truck driver and an avid cruiser, and I'm on a weight loss journey. I'm on a whole bunch of stuff, and I love lawn care. But today I wanted to talk to you about my experience on Royal Caribbean's Utopia of the Seas. And I wanted to wait a few weeks. Because so I could be more objective, have more things to talk about. Hopefully I remember everything I need to talk about in this. Good morning. Let's see here. What's going on, Mike? And this was my first cruise with Royal Caribbean. Normally I'm in Carnival, and Royal Caribbean and Carnival have this beef for some reason. I have no freaking idea. A lot of it is racially motivated. And they think that Carnival is the Walmart of the seas and all of that other mess, and it's really retarded. Go Royal Caribbean is so much better. And I've always wanted to cruise on a different cruise line just to try them out. And I finally convinced my wife to, hey, let's try. Can we try Royal Caribbean? Okay, and we tried Royal Caribbean. And again, I'm just going to be honest. Good morning, Associate Minister. Yeah, that's my truck running. You need to really be prepared when you go on one of the Oasis class ships. These ships are so huge. I thought the Jubilee and the Mardi Gras and the Celebration of Carnival was huge. No comparison. These ships are huge. Let's start with the boarding process. The boarding process was a little bit confusing. It was a little bit confusing, just a little bit, but it wasn't slow. They got you through. You got through really quick, and we didn't. I wanted to change the credit cards, so they let us do it in the boarding process before we even got on the boat. They didn't have the dogs like Carnival. They didn't have the dogs. In Carnival, man, you got to walk by the dogs before you even go on the boat. It was the same, kind of sort of boarding process as Carnival, so that part of it was normal. But there was no arrows that was like, okay, which way do we go? It was just a little bit confusing, and we were like, my wife was like, follow the crowd. So we just, we followed the crowd. It was very exciting because you could see the size of this ship coming. This thing was humongous. And that was kind of sort of not a downfall, but a negative for me, and I'll talk about that later. This ship is humongous. And when we first got on the ship, it was very overwhelming. Very overwhelming. It's huge. And when you get on the ship, it's I think it's deck 5. I believe that's deck 5. Don't quote me on that. As soon as you walk on, right to the left, I'm not good with Royal Caribbean with the stuff that they have, but it was the pizza place where you could get your free pizza, and I ain't supposed to be having free pizza, but I had it. But it was good. It was good. Difference is, Royal Caribbean, more sauce, more cheese. Carnival, skimped on the sauce, skimped on the cheese. Bam. That was a plus. They had a barbecue type of barbecue chicken pizza. Great. Really good. I was very, very happy with that. Even though I wasn't supposed to be having it again. But I am more of an introvert, more of a loner, even though I talk on this thing every day. I like to stay to myself. Don't make me the center of anything. And everybody was making me the center because my wife's birthday. Well, so what are we doing? What are we doing? It was very overwhelming for me. And I was like, look, calm down. This is new to me too. Let's figure this out. If you're going on Royal Caribbean and you're with more than one person, I suggest go to Amazon and buy you some walkie-talkies, because you will never, I repeat, never find your companion. You'll never find your group unless you have some walkie-talkies, because you're not gonna find each other. That's how big this place is. And we, like I said, we had that. We went there and had some pizza, sat down, and walked around. And just like any other cruise, they had places to buy stuff and so forth and so on. We made our way up to what's called the boardwalk, and what that is, it's supposed to be like to remind you of Central Park. Where it's nothing but live plants. Really, really nice. I was very impressed with that. But again, it's overwhelming. You're spending more of your time going, oh, wow. I mean, you're spending most of your time going, wow. And I'm getting deeper. It's like a man made this. This is huge, and it's staying afloat. Physics tells me, my senses telling me we're gonna sink, but physics telling me it's made to displace water, and that we are not going anywhere. When we made it up from there, we made it up to the top deck. The top deck is where the pools and the water park and everything is, and so forth and so on. This was a usual thing, I was not surprised. As an adult, as a 57-year-old man, as a father his son is in his mid-30s, there's some things that adults do not do. And one of the things is, as an adult, I'm not going to get in a hot tub, a grown by man with a whole bunch of kids in that hot tub. That makes me look like a pervert. Not doing it. But it seems like every ship that I get on, Carnival, Royal, I add you to the list. There was like 20, I know I'm exaggerating, but I walked by and I'm looking around, I walk by, there's 10 to 20 kids in the hot tub, one man, there's one man in the hot tub, and there's all these freaking kids going all over the place. First of all, I'm not getting in the hot tub, but this is what I've noticed about cruise ships. And I would have never did this. And I have a son. When my son was a child, I kept an eagle eye on him all time. Even in his 30s, we went on a cruise in July of last year. I'm low key keeping an eye on him because he's my son. You know what I mean? But these parents, once they get on a cruise ship, they shoot that way, kids go that way. That's problem I've noticed. I said, okay, no different than any other cruise ship so far. Kids ripping and running all over the place, and and these folks had to be from Michigan and North Dakota and places like that, because it was cold. But they were in the bikinis, swimsuits, and just going buck behind wild in the water. And I'm just laughing. I'm like, yo, ain't no way. That's pneumonia territory to me. And I see some folks came in, good morning. It's pneumonia territory. And I was like, well, I wasn't getting in there anyway, so just slow my roll. The way the top deck is situated, there's no, okay, the Utopia of the Seas is supposed to be the party boat, the party weekend, and you can't really have a party if there's no big top deck dance floor. The way it's situated, there's a big giant screen, and below that's where the cruise director was, and shouting and doing all that stuff. But they had a little area to the right where people could dance, and low on the lower deck to the left, there was no real specific area where you could have a good sail away party, because most of the way that's how they start the cruise set off for your vacation sets off when the ship is leaving port, and welcome to our boat, we're here to party and have a good time. And there was no central part. I was standing on the area to the far right with my wife and the friends and everything, and my wife, that's one of her main things. She wants to be in the center and have the sail away party and do the Cupid shuffle and all this other stuff. And I know it, and I've accepted it. I've got no beat. So I sit there and watch her, and that's her main goal in life, is to enjoy it. But they really had no central part. The sail away party, I mean, and this is no beef against Carnival and or Royal, because Carnival sail away parties are lame too. The only ones that I see of good sail away parties are the ones I see on another, another network, not YouTube. So we're not going to go there. And I was like, well, what boat was that? Because That don't happen on, and I, you know, I'm gold on. My wife is platinum on Carnival, so this is no beef against neither one. The sail away party was lame. It was lame. It wasn't as lame as the a few of the Carnival, but it was lame. Reason why it was lame is because these folks, these ages, these kids, these young people younger than me don't dance no more. When they go out to the club, you pay for you know, you're popping bottles and YouTube pictures, but you don't get out on the dance floor. They don't know how to dance anymore. They don't know how to mix music. They don't know how to do techno. They don't know how to do that. Because even with techno, you can do the 1, 2, 3. Just stand there. They don't know how to do that. And I know we probably get canceled for this, but you need to find the right people. If you want to be a cruise director, or one person under you, the right person that can lead the party, lead the dance, lead the excitement, make it exciting. And I just didn't see it. Normally that's someone who's a club hopper. That's normally honestly nowadays it's someone from the LGBTQ community. Cause they gonna vogue, they gonna do all that, and I'm like, I'm with it. I ain't got no people like, go ahead, boy, go ahead, girl, whatever, do you. Now this is what I'm talking about. They don't got nobody like that. And the only ones I hear that's where it's coming from. You need to get, make that person the head of, central. These boats, what they do, they it's essential. You're gonna play this set of music and that's it. You're gonna play this set of music and that's it. The biggest thing is that line dance with them things that I know it's stupid, but people want to hear that mess. I know it's retarded, but people want to hear that. They want to know that it's out to party, that you out there to party. Now, and I'm gonna be dropping a video. I'm gonna be dropping a video of that. I had the camera set up. It's gonna be in 4K. I had the camera set up. There is nothing. No, you going to the Caribbean. Shouldn't you be playing some dance hall music? Shouldn't you be playing some reggae music? Shouldn't you be playing some you know what I'm saying? Some Caribbean. You're going to the Caribbean. You ain't playing no Caribbean music. I mean, I'm just saying. Don't you think? Hey, it's here, Urban. Hey, Urban. There was no... People were trying to make a vibe, and you could see that it was just... And I'm not mad. Because I was like, well, this is same, normal... This is normal. So right now, Royal Caribbean and Carnival, y'all neck and neck, because the lame sail away party. All right, but I am a drinker, but I've had to curb my ways years ago because my wife really don't like me drinking, but I'm allowed to drink around a friend of mine, and because she knows he's gonna watch my back. One thing I got to give Carnival, I don't know what's in their drinks, but this is the first time in 10 years of cruising, first time in 10 years of cruising, I got buzzed. First time that I had to make a new rule. All expensive cameras and stuff does not come out if I'm going to start drinking, because I walked away from a camera once, and Charles had to grab it. I wouldn't have had my camera. So I did something stupid. That was me, my bad. But on this boat, they were mixing them drinks hard. So right now, Royal Caribbean, Carnival, and it 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 was, again, it was overwhelming. So if you're an introvert like me, my senses were overloaded because there was so many people. Now I was on Carnival with a lot of people, but this, I don't know why. It just didn't sit right with me. I didn't have time to charge up my energy to be able to take as many people as there was. It was over freaking well. Okay. Now, good morning. Now this is another thing, and again, I'm a very stickler for this. When you are surrounded by nothing but kids ripping and running, I understand that you're on vacation, your child's on vacation, yada yada yada. But and as they did not follow there's no, and if somebody in the Royal Caribbean, correct me, but I went in certain points in time, I went into the adults only section. The adults only section. There were Karens and Kens walking around with their kids with them. That's a problem I got. When it says 18 and older, adults only, why are you in there with your kids? I go to the adults only section to escape the fact that should not be no kids there. I didn't say nothing. See, this is the thing about what happens with people that this is not your place. It wasn't my place to even say anything. I just made a mental note. But I'm not going to tell you how to have your vacation. You're not going to tell me how to have mine, because that's what happened on Virgin. Person probably had too much to drink and was on the dance floor. Probably their feet hurt. They took their shoes off, and the lady said, "Excuse me, you're not supposed to be on this floor with no shoes on. That ain't none of your business. Mind your business." But they got into an altercation. A man came in and you know, whatever. Now the husband from this one choked the other guy out. Now everybody's in jail. You got to learn how to mind your business on any cruise ship. So that's why I did not say nothing. I wasn't even going to go complain to nobody. I'm here to mind my business. But I'm noticing they had a cafe in there. I don't know if you're allowed to have the kids in there, but you go to this section to get away from the kids. I done did my job. My son's 30. I get away from y'all. But they were parents walking around in the adult section with your kids. Carnival does a little bit better on that. Not much, but a little, because I was on a Carnival ship. There's some teenagers in the adult section, and I confronted them because they were this color. I said, "Hey, bro, y'all ain't, no," because he gave me the look. That no, I said, "Don't even give me the look. Y'all ain't supposed to be in here. Get to stepping." I ain't got no problem calling security. And I'm doing that as an uncle. Not a Karen or a Ken, but as an uncle. Look, you don't need to be in here. You're going to get yourself in trouble. Get to stepping. And he looked, he gave him the nod and left. That's what I was trying to, but that was a rarity. Mind my business. Back to that, I went back to minding my business. But, that I ain't had no problem with. The other thing, the food, they have on Carnival they have Guy's Burger Joint. On this one they have this hot dog place. The hot dogs were good, but the buns were retarded. It wasn't a hot dog bun. It wasn't. It was a brioche puff thing, half cut. It's like the hot dog was balancing on the. It was like it was balancing on the bun. It wasn't good, but the meat was good. Do you see what I'm saying? The meat was good. So let's talk about the food. Comparison to Carnival, you could tell all the desserts or pre-made cakes and sheet cakes and a lot of key sheet cakes that were pre-frozen, defrosted, cut off in little pieces, and then you had a cake or the big cake. It didn't have that taste like this was freshly made or on the boat, but they were like pre-made stuff. Royal, everything was in small individual containers, probably reusable plastic, really thick type plastic containers. It looked like they made an effort, and it was more on the I don't know how to explain, like bougie type of Food Networky desserts, but they were good. They had sections for sugar-free, which I stayed away from like a dummy. They had sugar-free sections, but they had a lot of sections. They had a lot of desserts that you could really sink your teeth into, but you didn't go crazy. They're smaller, and they had cleared off sections. We're gonna go into the breakfast. And so Carnival and Royal desserts. Royal kind of was kicking you behind, Carnival. The food, breakfast was really, it had flavor to it. I'm gonna say it like that. Carnival's breakfast used to have flavor to it until after the pandemic, where it's like they bought lower grade sausages and lower grade meats, where it was just bland. Royals, the breakfast, it had some flavor to it. The omelets, you got to go straight to the omelet bar. They have an omelet bar where you put in your order, you tell the person your order, they give you a beeper, and you can go get the rest, and it's going to take a minute. They're a little slow. Carnival, you got to wait online. So that's why, but they're a little bit faster with that. So I kind of give Carnival that on the omelets, but the idea is really good. I was amazed and kind of blown away where they had mounds, but they were overcooked bacon. But there was mounds of bacon. You get your own bacon, your own sausage, and I mean, and it just wasn't one spot. You could there was another section and another section where you could have all of your bacon and you can enjoy yourself. And I was like, I thought it was a test. I was scared to go eat out and pig out on the bacon, and I said, somebody's looking at me. I'm just gonna get 4 pieces. But Carnival, they would grab the whole mound. Carnival, they sparingly give it out. So I was scared to look. That was the funny part about it. In all my years of cruising to the Caribbean, I've never been on a boat that actually had a Caribbean night. They had we were supposed to go to the steakhouse, and we canceled the steakhouse, which they were very gracious and did really quick. We canceled the steakhouse, and we went and had the Caribbean night, and they had big trays of oxtails, for Pete's sake. No bones, oxtails with meat on it, big trays of oxtails. They had jerk chicken, jerk pork. Did they have jerk pork? I remember seeing jerk chicken. They had beef patties, and they had that bread that goes in with the beef patty. The bread was good, but the beef patties wasn't the same consistency as a regular beef patty that you're normally used to. And they had curry goat. I was like, wow, I didn't have the curry goat, but I went straight for the oxtails. And all the black people on the boat was in line. All the black people were, hey Scotty, what's going on? All the black people on the boat were the first in line for for the Caribbean night, and it was very, very enjoyable. Royal actually gives you a choice of having lemonade, and I think it was like apple juice and water, tea, different teas. You had more of a free version of stuff that you could get than compared to Carnival. Carnival is like water, sugar-free tea, and that's it, unless it's breakfast time. What I did love about the boat, and I took a picture with him, is they had the washi man. Carnival has on their boat, on all other boats, they have wash stations too. But you notice if you the next time I'm on a Carnival, I'm gonna do a video. I'm just gonna sit there for a good 40 minutes and watch nobody wash their daggone hands. On Royal, the man is dancing in the front of with the big old outfit on, washi with the Macarena, and the Macarena, hey Macarena, wash your hands. It had you cracking up, and it reminded you, hey stupid, stop and wash your hands. And that's what made me. And that was a very good idea for Royal to do, to make people wash their hands. Because on the cruise ship, norovirus is well documented. It's not good. People don't want to wash their hands. And that's one of the things that Royal did really, really good. They had, throughout the boat, they had specific areas where you could go to pig out. Get small sandwiches on brioche buns or toasted buns, or whatever. It's small, dainty type of things where you could. This is a cinnamon stick, by the way. I can't talk and have one in my mouth. It was more of they had convenience areas, but me being new to Royal, I didn't know what's real, what's not. So I spent most of my time trying to figure out, do I have to pay for this or whatever? And that was a little bit the hard part of trying to figure out. The thing is with this, if you're overweight and you're out of shape, this ain't the boat for you. And I'm not saying that to be hard or whatever. For you, if you want to get around, it's going to be hard. Because this place is huge. This boat is huge. You need to get you a good pair of sneakers and break them in, because you're going to be walking and you're going to be walking and you're going to be walking. You're going to walk your tail off if you try to get everything. And I think that the executives, when they designed this, they did that on purpose, because you're not going to be able to get to everything on this boat. If you're a person that goes on the cruise ships to see the shows, like, the Broadway shows or whatever shows that they have, or if you want to see the water park show, and not have to wait in that line or whatever, look at that video that I posted in the room number on the 9th floor. That was my friend's room. I did a quick room review. You could see that whole show from his balcony. That would be perfect, because the problem is, because there's so many people on the ship, once you book the room, you need to already know what shows you want to do, and you book them as soon as you sign up for them as soon as you book your room. Because the way they have it set up, the water park shows the water show's doing this one, the ice show doing this one, they're doing it at the same time. or they're doing it 30 minutes into your sit down meal. So you have to make a choice. You have to get you a graph or a chart of what you want to see, because you're not going to see everything. And don't go for the comedy show. That was trash. It was bad. Don't go for the comedy show. That was bad. It was trash. They have, like Carnival, it's called an adult game show, and it starts at like 11:30 at night. And here's one of the things that only problem I had with it. It was goofy. It was goofy, but it was adults being adults and having fun. But they had no one checking ideas. They had no one. You could tell. There was like 6 of them, underage teenagers, that were sitting in the row to my right down. I'm a father. I could spot an underage person a mile away, because they weren't clapping and whether they're being real quiet. That's one thing you gotta watch out, bro. And they had the teenager haircut. They had the teenager haircut. Another thing that happened on the boat, and it was on the boardwalk, the deck where the boardwalk is. There were some teenagers sitting on the balcony throwing stuff at people passing by. They were throwing hot coffee. They threw hot coffee on a couple of people, and they hit a 70-year-old woman with a plastic bottle. And no common sense. You didn't think that someone's going to count the floors of the room you're sitting in? You didn't think that? So that already shows that you weren't African American. Because, and I'm not saying that in a mean way, because you know better, especially if you're from the streets. I'm gonna get caught doing this. But these kids got caught acting the fool. So, when they say that ghetto whatever or poor white trash or whatever, you neck and neck with a lot of the stuff that you see on the internet about Carnival. Right there, Royal Caribbean, y'all neck and neck. Because that foolishness was not tolerated. And a person, he posted that on the Facebook, because every cruise ship has a Facebook thing. Royal Caribbean discourages you from hiding ducks, but there was so many kids searching far and wide for them. So I had 100 ducks, and I just had a ball leaving them all over the place. I had a ball, and I was just I put them in easy spots. You know what I mean? But they set this ship up. This was a 3-day cruise. Honestly, I had a good time. I enjoyed myself, but I couldn't get to anything. I wanted to do the boogie boarding up at the top, but we didn't have enough time. And that was discouraging. I did do the Abyss. There's a big slide. I would never suggest that to an old person like myself. I almost threw my back out, but it was an experience. It was an experience. I laughed myself silly. I did a review, so I'm not going to review it again on Perfect Day at Coco Cay. But they set this up that make you want to come back to the boat. But my thing is, for the price, I can't afford to come back again. For 3 days, I probably about 33,000 to 3,500 for 3 days. That's crazy. You know, with everything, travel to get there, the whole 9 yards, the hotel room, the so forth. That's a lot of money, and it should be 7 days. But this is theirs. That's a lot of money. You have some people that are doing back to back, so they're going to be pushing at least $5,000 to $6,000, and it's not worth it if you're I'm not even a discount traveler, but I'm a middle of the road traveler. It's not worth it for the money. It is a great place. You're going to miss a whole lot of stuff, but it's not for the money. It's not worth it. It is a good time. You're not going to be disappointed, but you're going to miss a whole lot. There's a whole lot I still didn't see. If you're used to midnight snacks, room service, and the pizza place, I don't know if there's anything else because I couldn't find it. You know, Carnival, you go up around midnight and at least get water or whatever. That whole cafeteria station's on lockdown, bruh. Straight up lockdown. Even to get water. On Carnival, they have water bottles in the room. They don't have water bottles. So you're not going to get the water. I think maybe they're trying to keep the plastic down to the minimum, and I understand that. But that's something I'm used to. Again, for the money, it's not worth it. But for the lifetime experience, I'll say this, it was worth it. The debarkation and embarkation was fun to get off from Coco Cay. You didn't have to go, you get to a certain deck, then you get on the elevator to go down to the lower deck. It's an experience. That walk from the boat to Coco Cay, you have a good pair of sneakers. I'm going to say it again. Because, you know, she be lurking in the background. She be one to cuss me out. Cruising is fun anytime. Cruising is fun anytime. If you're watching this video, you need to get you a cart. Rent a cart. Hey, Kenneth, what's going on? Rent one of those scooters. Because it is a walking. You're going to average between 8 to 10 miles walking a day for the 3 days. It's a lot of walking. The deck where they have like this open walking deck, it's on, I think it's on it's deck 4. It's deck 4. And good morning. That thing is scary at night. I got up to walk in the early morning. I did a little video. You can see I did a video of where all of the escape pods are, and they have these. This is why you got to listen and don't be that idiot that if something goes down, you're gonna go straight for the escape pod. You got to go to your where you're supposed to meet if something happens on the boat to escape the ship, because they have these big rooms on both sides of the boat. And if you read the instructions, the bottom is going to drop out of that room, and it's going to be like an airbag slide that slides you down into the water, or into the rafts or whatever. You're going. This is how you're going to get off this boat. There's more than one way to get off this, so you got to be able to orderly follow their instructions so you can escape this ship. Do you see what I'm saying? And a lot of people, you know, they may be joking about it, but there's a reason behind there's a reason to the madness. Follow the instructions of the people that are trying to tell you something. And that's the main thing that I want to say with that. Follow the instructions of the people that are trying to tell you something. Again, 9 times out of 10, the boat's not going to go out, you know, not going to sink. But if something goes down, the back of that boat, that railing is really low. To me, it should be higher. you know, on that lower walking deck where you could walk and exercise. It's real spooky. I mean, spooky, you know. But it's an experience to walk that early in the morning. How quiet it is, because late night the kids are whipping and running, and everybody's all over the daggone place. The casino. Don't waste your money. Don't waste your money. You know what type of casino this is, and I'm not being prejudiced, bigoted, or whatever. But I've been to many Indian casinos, and I call it the slow death. More money you put in, if you spend 60 cents, when you win, you're gonna win 30 cents. I call it the slow kill. So you're wasting your money. You're not gonna win nothing. You're not gonna win nothing on Carnival, but Carnival gives you a better experience and a better chance. But you're not gonna win. But you still got a better chance. You think you do, but you're still gonna lose. The ice skating rink. They have a techno party. They had like two different types of They had two different types of the adult game show. Then they had another thing before that, which was you get to act the fool, and you know, and it was an experience. It just is goofy. You know what I mean? It's just goofy. So to recap, if you're going to get on and the rooms, they're all generic. The way everybody makes it think, like when you get on Royal Caribbean, you open up your room door, you're going to hear the angels singing and the birds are twerping, and you know, that lady's going to be singing in the hills of the... No, it's a generic room. The bathrooms are just enough for one person to be in there. And if you drop a bomb in that bathroom, you're taking out everybody in your bedroom. There's no circulating of the air, you know, so be prepared for that. If you drop a bomb in there, the circulation, you might as well give it up. And really, it's not even worth it for the 3 days. It's not worth having a balcony. Might as well just get you an inside room, like an inside, no balcony room. Get the cheapest room, because you're going to be whipping and running. You're not going to have enough time to enjoy that balcony. I think I sat on the balcony twice. You're not going to have enough time to enjoy a balcony, so why waste your money? Do you see what I'm saying? Why waste your money? In a sense, my rating for Utopia of the Seas and the whole experience, out of 10, I would give Utopia of the Seas, I don't want to say it was perfect, but I'd say 8.5 out of 10. It's worth it for the lifetime experience, but for the value, it ain't worth it. For the days, it ain't worth it. But they set that in motion to make you come back, to come back and see more, to get more of your money. I will be in August going on one of the oldest ships in the Royal Caribbean fleet. So but that was going to be a 7-day cruise, you know. So we're going to be trying that out, and we're going to try it again. So guys, I just want to thank you for coming in, and thank you for being part of my live this morning. I hope this was entertaining. If you're coming in for the remix, thank you, and let you know that you're well appreciated. Coming up next, Wellness with Frugal Mama. If I didn't say hello to everybody, good morning and And yeah, have a blessed day. Coming up next, Wellness and Frugal Mama. After that, Cruising is Fun Anytime, and Eddie Lugo Studios and Miss T with the T is as after them at 9:15. As always, guys, if you think nobody loves you, know that I love you and God loves you. Y'all have a blessed day, and don't be stressed. Just be blessed. Deuces.